Hi everyone, good morning from Educating Path. This is a notification of TNPSC Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission 2022 non-interview post. So name of the post and number of vacancy. A municipal commissioner grade 2 9 vacancy. Assistant section officer 11 vacancy. Assistant section officer in secretariat 7 vacancy. Assistant section officer in finance department 7 vacancy. Assistant section officer in TNPSC 9 vacancy. Full-time residential warden in 1 vacancy. Senior inspector of cooperative 300 vacancy. Audit inspector in the audit in the Hindu Religious and Charitable Trust 29 vacancy. Assistant inspector in local fund audit 38 vacancy. Supervisor and junior superintendent in agriculture 1 vacancy. Handloom inspector 40 vacancy. Assistant in commissioner of revenue 4 vacancy. Revenue assistant in revenue department in the different districts. Assistant in the division of rural development and panchayat department in different districts all over Tamil Nadu. Assistant in the division commercial tax department. So assistant in commercial tax Chennai division 1. Assistant in commercial taxes Tirunelveli divisions 1. Assistant in civil supply 62 vacancy. Assistant in industrial and commerce 52 vacancy. Assistant in land administration 2 vacancy. Assistant in land reform department 7 vacancy. Accountant in treasurer and accounts department 570 vacancy. Assistant in department of prison and correctional service 41 vacancy. Assistant in police department 234 vacancy. Assistant in medical and rural health department 464 vacancy. Assistant in transport department 114 vacancy. Assistant in registration department 18 vacancy. Assistant in backward class welfare 16 vacancy. Assistant in fisheries and fishermen welfare department 35 vacancy. Assistant in labor department 91 vacancy. Assistant accountant storekeeper in employment and training department 146 vacancy. Assistant in highways department 145 vacancy. Assistant in archive and historical research department 3 vacancy. Assistant in Hindu Religious and Charitable Trust 169 vacancy. Assistant in NCC department 27 vacancy. Assistant in school education department 438 vacancy. Assistant in social defense department 42 vacancy. Assistant in director of vigilance and anti-corruption department 4 vacancy. Assistant in forest department 26 vacancy. Assistant in urban land sealing and urban land tax department 6 vacancy. Assistant in stationery and printing department 57 vacancy. Assistant in survey and settlement department 3 vacancy. Assistant and accountant in sericulture department 29 vacancy. Assistant in technical education department 28 vacancy. Assistant in sugar department 7 vacancy. Assistant in civil service training 1 vacancy. Executive officer grade 2 in town panchayat 19 vacancy. Junior cooperative auditor in department of cooperative 970 vacancy. Audit assistant in accounts of highway department 4 vacancy. Personal clerk in secretariat in law department 57 vacancy. Personal clerk in secretariat in finance department 13 vacancy. Personal clerk in Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission 7 vacancy. Stenotypist in secretariat in Tamil Nadu Registered Assembly 3 vacancy. Planning and junior assistant in Tamil Nadu Planning Commission 3 vacancy. Assistant in secretariat in law and finance department 120 vacancy. Assistant in secretariat law department 8 vacancy. Assistant in Secretariat Finance Department 5 vacancy. Assistant in TNPSC 104 vacancy. Assistant in Secretariat Legislative Assembly 3 vacancy. Lower Divisional Clerk in Secretariat in Legislative Assembly 5 vacancy. The total number of vacancy non-interview post 5413 5413. So this is for TNPSC exam 2024 non-interview post. So thank you, all the best for your future from educating path.